Hi everyone. Today I would like to discuss about one integration that's Kyriba payment integration, Microsoft Dynamics D365. Um, we will see that like what is Kyriba and why companies use Kyriba, how payment integration works between D365 and Kyriba, basic payment process flow. These are all the topics which we can discuss by this video. Yeah. Actually, what is Kyriba? What is Kyriba? Like, I just deep dived in segments which we did recently. Some configurations in the which where I worked in organization. So just I'm sharing that experience with you. Um, Yeah, like where exactly we use is relating to the treasury and cash management system used by the companies uh, to manage the payments and bank communication. Uh, payments, right, from the D365, when we use the vendor payment journals, so it should have to hit directly to the bank server from the D365 server. So that communication from API and these things, so the communication should have to be clear. That makes a very comfortable by using this Kyriba integration into the D365. So that's the thing, the payments, bank communication, cash flow, liquidity, treasury operations. And like before that, instead of manually processing payments through banks and companies, integrate D365 with Kyriba for secure and automated payment process. Like it's a host to host process type, it will flow actually. So due to that, we will use the Kyriba. And also moreover I will explain how it will work, the flow charts and PPT also I will try to explain in this video. Only I will explain about these flows and where we used to view the setups and all. I will show the setups and everything in the part 2 video relating to the D365 configuration. So, simple flow we can see. Um, so, vendor invoice in D365. So, you can see here, right? Vendor invoice in D365 and payment proposal. After vendor invoice creation in the journal, the payment proposal when vendor payment used to do, and in that like we can go with the generate, like after creation of the journal and everything we can click on the generate payments. When it is generated, so the Kyriba will be validated, like which we are maintaining the software, that Kyriba will be validating, and after that the bank process will be happen. So again then the payment status will be update to our D360. It will back to the D365. That's the thing. Um, yeah. Like by next video, I will explain everything. Like relating to this Kyriba, what is the setups we used to manipulate, like payment journals and bank setups and vendor bank accounts and payment status trackings, error handlings, cash flow codes, and payment file generation, etc. etc. Yeah. Firstly, we can move through the PPT which I prepared for the explaining for you guys. So Like you guys know that, like I can explain about like what's the exact objective to do this Kyriba. Everyone knows that because using these Kyriba cash flow codes and generates vendor payments, which is integrated with Kyriba, is for the secure and smooth flow, and as well as by reducing the manual interactions, so that we just configured this Kyriba. Yeah, like the purpose and same thing, the same everything. The objective and purpose is the same. The every transaction will go with the cash flow code, which we used to maintain. Further, you could know that how we are maintaining. Clearly, I will explain. Mm, yeah, and we can directly we can go for the first step. uh, Here which I wrote it as an introduction, the overview of Kyriba payment integration and integration between D365 FNO and Kyriba, vendor payment processing and treasury flows. That when we go with the cash flow code. So here I explained in the fourth page, which is screenshot I just mentioned there. I will show you. You can see this cash flow code. Like when we integrate all Kyriba and everything, so we can see in the general ledger, when we go to the general ledger module to navigate to the general ledger module, and in the general ledger module we have the setup ledger setup. So in that ledger setup, the Kyriba cash flow code master we are maintaining. So when we click on that, it will be navigate to the, this is a code master, cash flow code master. Here we can specify some budget codes and cash flow codes in the main account level and vendor level, uh, customer level, like that. And so when vendor level, we can see the vendor level where we used to do that setup, that link code, how it is linking. Just I'm explaining you the vendor, you know, right? Vendor where we have to go for all vendors. So from there, you can see that I have the screenshot. So in all vendors, if you have the idea, so when we go for the accounts payable and vendors, all vendors, so in the first vendor master under the general, we used to maintain Kyriba cash flow code. So here we are maintaining one cash flow code. So might be the screen is not that much clear, but just you can visit that. You can see Kyriba cash flow code. So this is the picture. Before I will show this picture as well. Just see like this, the screen will be there. Picture. And when coming to the main accounts, we can see. So in main account master also we used to specify one of the code. Yeah, you guys know that where the main accounts presence in the D365. When coming to the main accounts master screenshot, you guys knows that general ledger, chart of accounts, accounts and main accounts. So here under the general, we have the one integration Kyriba cash flow code. So here we used to specify. I will explain how, why we are specifying here, how it will be synced. And yeah, further we are coming to the vendor payment processes. Yeah, vendor payment process. Before going to the vendor payment process, I would like to say about the what we can say uh, like before that, because before going to the vendor payment journal exactly, we need to do the invoice level. Like we need to provide the invoice to settle the payment, vendor payment. That's the process. So you guys knows that like the invoice can create from the two ways, like a PO related invoice, and as well as some advance payments. Without invoice we used to pay the payments, and from the non PO vendor invoice related we used to pay. So we used to create that we used to raise the invoices. So with that invoices, we used to pay the while doing the payment. So we used to settle that invoices. Yeah. So I will show you in this screen. This is the first screen. This is the first screen. I will zoom. Yeah. So when we are creating the journal, payment payment journal, when we are giving the date and voucher automatically will come, and when we give the vendor like that, so directly this amount how it comes means, so when we click on the settle transaction, we have the which is already invoiced payment under this vendor. So that invoice payment we used to settle, so that it will exactly comes here. And another, yeah, another one. You guys know, like in everywhere, in every organization, offset account used to maintain. This is like from bank to vendor. Um, you can see the bank, the offset account is bank. The method of payment will be the check. We used to specify. So here the payment release date also here one of the integration relating to the Kyriba, because every time when we create, because they doesn't know, they will release the payment to vendors directly. So when we create a payment and when we send to the Kyriba level, so we used to specify in the journal level the payment release date should be for example today's date. We are creating the journal means, let's say we can after 5 days we need to release this payment, so we can extend that date. We can extend, for example today is meeting, so we can extend it to 20 or 22. When we click on that, so the payment also will release that. And whereas coming to the in that in that payment itself, like we used to, after creating, settling and offset and method of payment, everything happen, and we need to give a few configurations in the journal level. So you know that payment release date already I showed the screenshot, and FX deal number, why we used to mention FX deal numbers and payment ID, charge bearer, and central bank purpose. So these and all why we need to mention in. Um, I will show you with the screenshot. So this is a one of the screenshot. Here when we see the payment ID, payment ID. Why we used to payment ID? That's a payment ID. Just we are specifying, identifying that uh, the nature or type of payment transaction for reporting and banking classifications. So we need to specify for, let's say, advance payment as per shown in the screen, or else some prepayment, some goods amount. We need to specify some payment ID. That's a uh, transaction type, we can say. So when we can see that another one like FX deal number. This is also we need to put. This is also they need to capture. Like use it for mainly for foreign exchange deal reference number for tracking foreign currency conversion transaction. So if any international transactions, so we will mention the FX deal number. Um, we can specify the one of the member. It's after that, so yeah, after that, you know that central bank purpose code. So why the bank purpose code? This is a signal we need to specify that for the regulatory classification of payments as required by the central bank, the countrywide. So it's a purchaser for uh, goods like GDI, like goods bought, or else if any charges like that we used to specify there. So another one, the charge bearer. So here why we used to specify charge bearer, we have the some codes actually for the charge bearer, issuers like that different. So when we specify for the charge bearer 000, like we specified, so that is for who will bear the bank transaction charges during payment process. That's the one. For vendor, issuer is a person need to bear the charges here. So after preparation of everything, journal and everything, we can see generate payments. When we filled all these details, which I showed before uh, uh, slides. So after that, we have to click on the generate payments. So when we click on the generate payments, you guys know the configuration. When click on the generate payments, we need to all enable the bank accounts and Kyriba integrations. And then if we click on OK, then the process will be generates. Yeah, and payment will be generated successfully. And next slide, the payment URL. Yeah, that's the same thing. Like after generates successfully, the payment details will be pushed to the Kyriba, and users can view settled invoices and track payment processing and status and everything. This is the overall view. This is the overall view. So I need to explain one thing, like what exactly the logic behind here. Okay, as you guys know that we specified everything. Um, we go for the code. I will explain the logic. We specified the cash flow code in the PO level, like PO level in the sense vendor level, and as well as the GL level. And if you observe the journal name level as well, we used to specify the payments that journal level. Okay, first example one, why we use the payment. So when PO, when we do the creation of the PO and GRN, and when PO is invoices, when PO invoices, we can see, for example, PO invoices with the 63,000. And you know that PO invoicing is nothing but when we check the PO voucher, so we can see the transaction flow. You can see for GRN means the transaction how it will be created, goods received, and uh, uh, purchase expenditure will be there, will be credit, right? So the same way invoices, the other maintaining charges like that, the transactions should have to be there. So the transactions means that's nothing but the GL code will be added to the to that transactions for which GL code it is placed these invoice expenses and everything. So that everyone knows that I will explain future video. you doesn't have the clarity. So if you refer here, future it will be there. So when we see the vendor invoice journal, so I created one invoice, another invoice in the vendor invoice journal, 55,000. 55,000. And same way, system will take the cash flow code, how system will take the cash flow code in the vendor payment integration level, which code it will take, because why we should have to take that code in the sense, it is the flow of the amount, how much, which amount the system is taking, like that, because that means in this, we configure as a higher value. That means in this 63,000 invoice and 55,000 invoice, the whichever is GL codes is involved in this. So which wherever is higher value is there, that GL code will be specified. So you know that, here main account used to specify the code. So like that, so there are the different GL codes will be specified. So the same way, we used to specify there. So the system will take system will take the PO invoice level cash flow code. That means 3,000 higher value. The higher value it will. This actually, these ensures the accurate classification of cash movements. Uh, like codes are derived from the vendor setup and main account setup and transaction level, like that. Yeah, another example, if we take also, if you take example two, if vendor invoice level, that means non-PO. The vendor invoice level journal means it's a non-PO. No, invoice is not generated from the PO level. That's the thing. For example, let's say 17,000. So the same way, another non-PO vendor invoice we just raises, that is some 19,000, let's say. So system will take as a 90,000, because here one code will be there. For example, here which we generated a vendor, on that vendor. So some expenses we should specify. So some for this is the code. If let's say here some code will be there, and here when these vendors same other expenses we just mentioned, so that invoice also is settled in the while doing the payment. So some expenses, some code will be there. So here some code, will be there. Yeah, like this code will be there. So the system obviously will take this code, because we configure as a higher flow should will take the code here. So this is how the integration is happen. So let's see. I will show you the the system level as well. I will create PO, and I will create vendor invoices, and I will create payment, and after settling how the system is displays, and I will show you the vendor payment integration path as well, which how the code was showing, and mm, I will say, so for when we do the testing to that, in every point here, whatever the points we explain, when we test in the system, you guys will get the clarity. You Thank you so much. Thank you so much.